about the Muslim Islamic community. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, these are American heroes. These are American Muslim military personnel who lost their life in service. In your package, you have their names. What's driving, two major issues driving Islamic Muslim community? Fear and this. Fear and this. General rule, you can't look at someone and know if they're Muslim. Have Muslims been targeted in New Jersey? Answer, yes. Bayonne, New Jersey Muslim Worship Community Center Space in October 2016. Rutgers in 2017. Muslim Free America. I think was it Rowan down here? There have been posters for certain groups. Anyone know? Or was it Glassboro? Stockton. Thank you, Stockton. Okay, Stockton. We've seen rises with regards to hate groups, alt-right groups, advertising on college campuses. Stereotypes and myths. Stereotype. Everything is covered but our eyes. What a cruel, male-dominated culture. From the Muslim woman. Nothing covered but her eyes. What a cruel, male-dominated culture. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're all about myth-bustering here. So let's bust some myths. Myth-buster, number one. The hijab is a sign of a woman's oppression. What you want, Bob? That's false. Muslim women in the United States who choose to veil do so for a variety of reasons, including expressing their modesty and relationship to God, a sense of pride of being Muslim, a collective sense of identity, or to convey a sense of control in public life. Myth-bustering number two. Myth. All Arab Americans are Muslim and are foreigners. What you want, Bob? The wrong answer, another myth. Arab Americans started coming to the U.S. in the 1880s. First wave of migration was a majority Christian. Now Muslim Arab Americans are the fastest growing segment. 82% of Arab Americans are U.S. citizens. Ancestral ties to Lebanon, Syria, Eastern Mediterranean area, Egypt, and Iraq. Diversity among the world's Muslims. 18% of Muslims live in the Arab world. 20% are found in the sub-Saharan Africa. 30% are found in the South Asian region of Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh. World's largest single Muslim community within the bounds of one nation is Indonesia. There are significant Muslim populations in China, Europe, Central Asia, Russia, and the United States. What does Islam mean? It means will of God. The root of Islam is as-salam. It means submission or surrender. It is understood to mean submission to God. The word salam comes from the same word meaning peace. A Muslim achieves peace by submitting to the will of God. There are a number of principles of Islam: respect for the divine revelation, freedom of religion, respect for human life, a person, respect for family and the community, respect for the environment, respect for economic justice, broad and capital ownership, respect for political justice and self-determination, respect for human dignity and gender equity, respect for knowledge and dissemination of thought. If you go to a mosque, is there certain etiquette? Yes. Visitors may be greeted by the Arab greeting, Assalamu alaikum, meaning, peace be with you. Your response, again, is, and peace be with you as well. Some mosques have separate entrances for men and women. Follow local custom, whatever they are. In visiting the masjid, during a time when prayers are taking place, you may observe the prayer from any convenient place in a prayer hall where your hosts may guide you. Clothing of men and women should be modest. This is a no tank top zone. For women, this means an ankle-length skirt or trousers, which should not be tight or transparent, together with a long sleeve or high neck top. A headscarf is usually essential for women, especially when the Quran is being recited. For men, no shorts or tank tops. Before entering the masjid, the prayer hall, remove your shoes, place them on shelves when found next to the entrance in the prayer area. If there is no shelves, you may leave the shoes in the hallway. When in the prayer area, act respectfully, speak softly in a non-emergent situation. The front portion of the masjid is used by men, and a separate area is usually used for women. Where men and women pray in the same hall, they remain in separate groups as well. With regards to etiquette, enter the prayer hall quietly, sit on the floor or chairs if they're provided. It's important to avoid pointing your feet in the direction of the Qibla. What is the Qibla? It is the area. It's a niche or alcove in the wall. It's where the imam actually stands, and that is actually where Saudi Arabia is located, in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Key components. First of all, Islamophobia doesn't exist. And what is Islamophobia? Key assumptions. Islam is monolithic, cannot adapt to new realities. False. Islam does not share common values with other faiths. False. Islam as a religion is inferior to the West, barbaric, irrational, primitive, sexist. False. Islam is a religion of violence that supports terrorism. False. Key assumptions. Islam is a violent political ideology. False. Hostility towards Islam is used to justify discriminatory purposes towards Muslims and the exclusion of Muslims from main society. Anti-Muslim hostility is accepted as natural or normal. All right, let's go through it. Islamic terrorism. What's the fallacy of Islamic terrorism? No religion. I'm Roman Catholic. No religion supports violence or terrorism. Terrorists and extremists twist religion to justify their actions. History shows us this. The Westboro Baptist Church protesting at funerals. Buddhist monks in Myanmar killing Muslims. Hindu nationalists targeting violence against Christians and Muslims. White Christian nationalists using targeted violence against abortion providers, all used in the name of religion. In other words, hijacking a religion for a criminal purpose. Impact on the Muslim communities. What law enforcement may be seeing. Rise of bullying, hate crimes, property crimes, homes, schools, mosques, community centers. You're not building that in my community. Mental health issues, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, paranoia, job discrimination, oppositions to building mosques and Islamic centers, Muslim interfaith protests against policy, and the rise of hate crimes as well. Context. What should we be aware of in law enforcement community? Be aware of potential fear, justified anger, or lack of trust on law enforcement policies and the government itself. So some cues for law enforcement in responding or intervening with a person from the Muslim community. Cultural. Be sensitive to the hijab, especially observing female drivers. Lack of eye contact does not imply cooperation. A Muslim woman alone at home may wish to have a male relative present during questioning. That's a cultural thing. Any questions, concerns, criticisms, or witticisms?